On Ms. Lee's first day as homeroom teacher, Lucheng Vocational High School showed her exactly what kind of place it was. Class had barely started when one student deliberately farted. The whole room burst into laughter. Then Hyunwoo woke up. He did not even look at Ms. Lee. He grabbed a drink and hurled it at the blackboard. The drink burst open and splashed all over her. Before she could take back control, Hyunwoo forced the student to stand up. Then, right in front of the new teacher, he slapped him twice. Ms. Lee stepped in to stop him. Hyunwoo turned on her immediately. But the worst part was not Hyunwoo. It was the class. No one backed away. The other students crowded by the window and even placed bets, waiting to see how far this would go. Ms. Lee ordered them back to their seats. No one moved. Then Hyunwoo said one word. The entire class went silent. Before her first day was even over, Ms. Lee understood how this classroom worked. The teacher was not the one in control. Hyunwoo was the one the students feared. Lucheng Vocational High School was even more out of control than Ms. Lee had imagined. The schoolyard was full of students smoking. The rules existed, but almost no one took them seriously. And yet, in a place like this, Gammon only wanted one thing: to study. He had worked hard since he was little. He had asked his mother to hire tutors for him. He had never given up on school. But the harder he worked, the lower his grades stayed. So he treated Lucheng Vocational High School as his last chance. As long as he could move up in the school rankings, he still had a chance to get into college. But once Gammon stepped onto campus, he found another kind of ranking. This school ranked students too. Only here, the rankings had nothing to do with grades. They were based on who could knock other people down. A student could start a fight over one look. A student could become a target just because his ranking dropped. Gammon wanted to climb through textbooks. But the first test the school gave him was violence. Still, Gammon did not give up. Since he could not study alone, he decided to form a study group. He started looking for anyone willing to study. In the end, he noticed Seon. Seon had good grades. And he did not look like someone who only knew how to fight. Gammon was just about to invite him. But trouble arrived first. A student suddenly challenged Seon. Seon lost. His ranking dropped all the way to 173rd place. In this school, dropping in rank was not just embarrassing. It meant more trouble would come looking for you. This was not the first time Gammon and Ms. Lee had met. Years ago, Ms. Lee had been his tutor. Then, for some reason, she suddenly quit. Now, they met again in the last place anyone would expect. Lucheng Vocational High School. Gammon warned her right away. The previous homeroom teacher had not even lasted a month before the students scared him away. But Ms. Lee did not step back. She asked about his studies instead. That was when Gammon told her his plan. He wanted to form a study group. To invite Seon, Gammon started secretly following him. After learning that Seon often rested in the library, Gammon deliberately sat beside him and read. Seon ignored him. So Gammon kept talking to himself, trying to get his attention. Seon finally could not take it anymore. He agreed to tutor him. But Seon soon realized Gammon understood even less than expected. At first, Seon did not want to discourage him. But he still could not help calling him an idiot. Gammon used the chance to invite Seon to start a study group with him. Seon refused immediately. The reason was simple. Hanul would never allow a club like that to exist. Hanul was known as the strongest person at Lucheng Vocational High School. The fighting ranking app the students checked every day had also come from him. Even worse, Hanul had YB gang behind him. At school, no one dared to touch him easily. Even principal men had never truly controlled him. Hanul had terrible grades. But he still kept receiving awards for outstanding students. Soon, Ms. Lee found the schoolyard covered in cigarette butts and oil drums. She immediately reported it to the school. Principal Min did not solve the problem. Instead, he lit a cigarette right in front of her. He did not care whether students would be harmed. He only cared whether the schoolyard would look clean enough before the inspectors arrived. While Seon was washing his face, someone bumped into him from behind. Seon thought Gammon was bothering him again and cursed without thinking. But when Seon turned around, Hyunwoo was standing in front of him. Hyunwoo looked at Seon after his ranking had dropped to 173rd place. Then Hyunwoo demanded money. 200,000 won by the next day. Seon could only lower his head and apologize. But in this school, an apology never protected anyone. When Seon could not pay, Hyunwoo told his men to get sticks. Meanwhile, Ms. Lee was moving oil drums. When she looked up, she saw Seon surrounded in the middle. She hurriedly asked the nearby teachers for help. Those teachers glanced over. Then they turned and walked away. Ms. Lee was about to rush over herself. But Gammon stopped her. The next second, someone wearing a welding mask charged into the crowd. White smoke from a fire extinguisher exploded through the air. Hyunwoo's group could not see anything. In the chaos, Gammon picked up Seon and rushed straight out. Seon did not thank Gammon. Instead, he blamed him for stepping in. Gammon might have saved him this time. But he could not stop the retaliation Hyunwoo would bring later. Seon admitted that he also wanted to study properly. But in this school, he had to protect himself first. After saying that, Seon prepared to go back and face Hyunwoo. But Hyunwoo had already come looking for him. Hyunwoo forced Seon to tell him who the person with the fire extinguisher was. Seon said he had not seen clearly either. Hyunwoo did not believe him. He prepared to hit Seon again. Then Gammon appeared again, still wearing the welding mask. Since 3rd grade, Gammon had learned martial arts from his uncle Yanga. He was not good at studying. But he had shown amazing talent in martial arts. Until now, Gammon had kept that strength hidden. So the students at school had no idea he knew how to fight. Gammon quickly knocked Hyunwoo and the others back. Then he asked whether Seon was hurt. After that, Gammon invited Seon to join the study group again. But Seon still refused. Seon thought Gammon wore the welding mask because Gammon was also afraid of being targeted by the bullies. In fact, Seon had come to vocational high school because of his father. His father had always believed going to college was meaningless. Early the next morning, Ms. Lee found that the oil drums she had moved away the day before had been placed back in the schoolyard. She saw the Dean of Student Affairs driving students away and thought someone was finally willing to manage the campus. But it was only because Inspector Jang, an important figure in education, was about to visit the school. The school was only cleaning up for the inspection. While Ms. Lee was moving the oil drums, a student named Gunwoo took the initiative to help. Gunwoo hoped Inspector Jang could see the school's real environment, not the version cleaned up at the last minute. Ms. Lee also did not want to help the school hide its problems. But Gunwoo reminded her that one teacher alone could hardly change an entire school. After Gammon returned to the classroom, he found a wrong answer notebook inside his desk. Seon had left it there for him. To Gammon, this was not just a notebook. It was the first real response Seon had given to the study group. Gammon was about to thank him. Then Hyunwoo walked over. Hyunwoo had already decided that Gammon was the one behind the welding mask. He reached out and snatched the notebook. Gammon told him to give it back. Hyunwoo pulled out a lighter. Then Hyunwoo burned the notebook right in front of him. Around them, the students waited for the obvious ending. Gammon was ranked only 220th. To them, this fight should have been over before it even began. But Gammon did not move for his own pride. He moved for the notebook Seon had left behind. As the pages burned away, Gammon finally looked up. He gave Hyunwoo one demand. Apologize to Seon. Hyunwoo answered by rushing at him. But once the fight started, the bully everyone feared could barely stay on his feet. During the fight, a huge wrench fell from upstairs. Inspector Jang and Principal Min were nearby for the inspection and were startled by it. Even though Hyunwoo was already barely standing, Gammon still forced him to apologize to Seon first. Seon watched everything from outside the window. Afterward, Seon walked up to Gammon. This time, he agreed to start the study group with him. The conflict quickly spread through the school. It also drew the school administration's attention. To protect the school's reputation, Principal Min decided to form a school bullying investigation committee against Gammon in front of Inspector Jang. Once Gammon was identified as the aggressor, he would be expelled. At that moment, Ms. Lee stepped forward to defend him. She explained that Hyunwoo had attacked Gammon first. Gammon had only fought back after being bullied. The school argued that even if Gammon had been attacked first, he still could not solve the problem with violence. Ms. Lee admitted that point. But she asked one question. If the school had allowed bullying to continue for so long, what other way did students have to protect themselves? Then she told Inspector Jang that Gammon had wanted to form a study group for a long time. Inspector Jang thought the proposal was worth trying. He agreed to give Gammon a chance. But Principal Min only gave him 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, the study group had to gather 5 members. Otherwise, the school bullying investigation committee against Gammon would still be held. And if the result went against him, Gammon could be expelled. Gammon was full of confidence. As soon as the flyers were posted, he was already thinking about how to screen members. Several hours passed. The sign-up sheet was still empty. Finally, someone walked over. But he was not there to study. He had heard that Gammon was a fire-breathing monster. So he came specifically to cause trouble. Gammon did not sense the danger at all. He lowered his head to look for the application form. He thought the person had finally come to sign up. But when the cabinet door opened, it knocked the guy out. Gammon thought the guy had suddenly gotten sick. Cian had to remind him that this person had never come to join the study group. Gammon still refused to give up. He changed his method and started actively searching for members. But the more seriously Gammon observed people, the more they thought he wanted to challenge them. In the hallway and in the cafeteria, students moved far away as soon as Gammon appeared. Cian told him there were no people at this school who truly loved studying. Gammon still believed he just had not found the right people yet. Just then, Gunwoo appeared ahead of them. Cian recognized him and told Gammon that Gunwoo had studied abroad before. Once Gammon heard that, he immediately ran over and invited Gunwoo to join the study group. Gunwoo did not agree. He reminded Gammon that forming a study group could drag the people around him into trouble. Then Gunwoo asked whether Gammon had the ability to protect them. To encourage the two of them, Ms. Lee took Gammon and Cian to the library after school. Cian knew Ms. Lee had ranked first in the teacher recruitment exam. So he asked why she had chosen to work here. Ms. Lee did not reveal the real reason she had come to this school. After they split up, Ms. Lee noticed that Gammon had left his new book behind. She took the book home with her. But when she reached her door, it was already open. Hyunwoo and two other students were standing inside. Hyunwoo claimed they wanted to join the study group. Ms. Lee told them to leave. If they had something to discuss, they could talk at school tomorrow. Hyunwoo did not move. Then he asked why Ms. Lee always targeted him. That was when the excuse fell apart. After losing to Gammon, Hyunwoo had been taken to the rooftop by Hanul's men and beaten. Now he had broken into the teacher's home. Not to sign up, but to deliver Hanul's warning. Meanwhile, Gammon saw Ms. Lee's call and immediately called back. No one answered. Ms. Lee's phone had already been knocked to the floor by Hyunwoo. Hyunwoo mocked her too. He said the police usually arrived only after everything was over. At the critical moment, Gunwoo rushed into the house. He forced Ms. Lee to escape with him. The two ran all the way into the underground parking lot. But Hyunwoo and the others soon caught up. Ms. Lee borrowed Gunwoo's phone and was about to call the police. But Hyunwoo's group noticed. Gunwoo could only pull Ms. Lee along and keep running. More people soon surrounded them. Ms. Lee did not want the situation to get worse. She was about to persuade everyone to stop. But she was punched to the ground. Seeing Ms. Lee hurt, Gunwoo immediately put on brass knuckles and fought the group. Gunwoo took a hit to his left abdomen. His old injury flared up right away. Only then did Hyunwoo recognize him. Gunwoo was the boy who had survived that random murder case years ago. That case had once caused a huge sensation. Gunwoo's abdomen had also been left with a severe knife wound because of it. The intense pain left Gunwoo unable to keep fighting. Hyunwoo was about to attack Ms. Lee again. Then a hand suddenly grabbed his arm. Gammon had arrived. He first checked Ms. Lee's injury. Then he told Hyunwoo to let her go. Hyunwoo's group mocked Gammon for only knowing how to take hits. Gammon did not answer. He simply took off his glasses and prepared to fight. He took out a pair of homemade nunchucks. Even though they were not easy to use, he quickly knocked back the people surrounding him. Gammon came to Ms. Lee's side again to check her injury. Hyunwoo picked up a bottle and prepared to sneak attack him. But Gunwoo stopped him. Gunwoo still wanted to keep attacking Hyunwoo. So Gammon immediately stepped forward and stopped Gunwoo. After they left the parking lot, Ms. Lee returned the book to Gammon. For 2 days straight, the study group did not receive a single application. While Gammon and Cian were worrying about it, Gammon suddenly received a sign-up text. He rushed to the applicant's classroom, thinking the study group had found its next member. But the moment he opened the door, he froze. It was a girls' class. Only then did he learn that Luching Vocational High School was co-ed. Gammon started checking Jaiwa's study plan. The female bully Nina deliberately spat gum onto it. Gammon caught the gum with his hand. Then he completely ignored her provocation and kept checking the plan. Dahun suddenly appeared and claimed to be Jaiwa's boyfriend. As soon as Mina saw him, her attitude immediately softened. Dahun stopped Gammon and questioned why he had approached Jaiwoo. Jaiwoo wanted Gammon to leave. But because she had talked to another boy, Dahun ordered her to hold out her hand and accept punishment. He even made Jaiwoo choose between getting hit and acting cute toward him. Jaiwoo chose to get hit. Just as Dahun raised his hand, the gum Gammon had caught stuck to his face. From Jaiwo's reaction, Gamin saw that the relationship between Jaiwo and Dahun was not what Dahun claimed. Dahun also recognized Gamin. He knew Gamin had recently defeated Hyunwoo. Dahun warned Gamin not to get too arrogant. Then he deliberately took off Gamin's glasses to force him to fight. Just as both sides were about to clash, a teacher arrived and interrupted them. Dahun had no choice but to put Gamin's glasses back on him. Before leaving, Dahun warned Gamin that they would meet again soon. After the conflict was interrupted, Seon finally told Gamin about Dahun. Dahun was part of the school patrol team. On the surface, the patrol team controlled ordinary troublemakers. In reality, even the school quietly allowed them to use violence. That was why almost no one dared to touch them. Seon also reminded Gamin not to bring Jaiwo into the study group. Because Jaiwo was Hyunwoo's older sister. Not long after, Jaiwo's friend Heewon came to find them. The sign-up text had actually been sent by Heewon on Jaiwo's behalf. Heewon told Gamin that Jaiwo was not staying by Dahun's side willingly. Back then, Heewon had been bullied. Jaiwo had helped her escape the bullying. Later, Hyunwoo had been robbed while delivering an important item for someone else. To pay compensation, he could only borrow money from Dahun. Dahun then forced Hyunwoo to record a video of himself stealing money. Since then, that video had become the leverage used to control the siblings. As long as the video still existed, Jaiwo could not easily escape Dahun. Heewon hoped Gamin would help delete the video. Seon worried that doing this would make it even harder for them to survive at school. Gamin only answered with one line. Their school life had never been easy anyway. So he decided to help Jaiwo. At least from now on, she should only have to face studying. After confirming the patrol room's location, Gamin quietly hid inside a cabinet. He watched Dahun and the others through the crack. Soon, Gamin saw the target. The video file was on a USB drive plugged into the computer tower. Gamin deliberately knocked on the cabinet door. When a patrol team member opened the cabinet, he saw Gamin crouching inside. Dahun immediately guessed that Gamin had come for Jaiwo's video. The two sides started fighting. Gamin raised his leg to attack Dahun. But Dahun grabbed it. The next second, Gamin was thrown hard to the ground. Dahun thought Gamin was nothing special. But Dahun failed to notice one thing. The place where Gamin landed was right beside the computer tower. Gamin used the chance to reach out and pull out the USB drive. After getting the real target, Gamin began fighting back. Dahun was quickly knocked down. But just as Gamin was about to leave, two more patrol team members blocked the door. Seon, who was waiting outside, knew they could not keep standing by. To draw the patrol team away, Seon asked Heewon to pretend to argue with him. But Heewon had never cursed anyone before. At first, she did not even know how to cooperate. Meanwhile, Gamin was fighting four members inside the patrol room. He held them off for a while. But the four eventually worked together and pinned him to the ground. Dahun stood back up. Then he revealed that the computer still had a backup copy of the video. Taking the USB drive would not completely destroy the evidence. Dahun started an upload program. He was about to post the video of Hyunwoo's crime on social media. As the upload was about to finish, Gamin picked up the computer tower and rushed out of the patrol room. While running, Gamin tripped over a wire on the ground. He had to turn around immediately and throw himself at the enemies chasing him. The computer tower slid across the floor and stopped beside Seon's feet. After learning that the backup video was inside the computer tower, Seon picked it up and rushed toward the rooftop. He was about to remove the hard drive when Dahun caught up. After confirming there was no one below, Seon threw the computer tower down directly. The backup video was destroyed. At that point, only the USB drive Gamin had taken was left. Seon warned Dahun not to touch Jaiwo and Hyunwoo again. Meanwhile, Gamin was being scolded by a teacher who had grabbed his ear. He suddenly realized the USB drive in his jacket pocket was gone. Gamin looked back and saw it on the floor. He immediately reminded Heewon to pick it up. But just as Heewon reached for it, Mina grabbed it first. Mina recognized that the USB drive belonged to Dahun and prepared to return it herself. Thinking all their earlier effort might go to waste, Heewon immediately rushed forward to stop her. The girl who had never cursed at anyone before exploded for the first time and cursed Mina in public. The two sides fought over the USB drive. No one let it fall back into Dahun's hands. In the end, Dahun could only leave in embarrassment while being supported by his lackeys. Everyone thought the video threat was finally over. Then Hyunwoo appeared with a knife. His target was Dahun. Only moments earlier, Hanul had told him the truth. The robbery, the crime video, and the debt had all been set up by Dahun. From the beginning, Da-hoon had used it to control both Hyunwoo and Jae-woo. Hyunwoo lost control and charged straight at Da-hoon. Ms. Lee rushed in and stood between them. Hyunwoo could not stop. The knife stabbed Ms. Lee instead. Ms. Lee had rushed forward because she had already read Hyunwoo's student file. In the dream section, Hyunwoo had written that he wanted to make a lot of money and take care of his sister. So when he rushed toward Da-hoon with a knife, Ms. Lee did not move away. She stood between them and tried to stop him from making another mistake. After she was injured, Ms. Lee still told Hyunwoo not to give up. She also promised to help him. In the end, Jae-woo personally took her younger brother to the police station. After dealing with the incident, Jae-woo went to the hospital to visit Ms. Lee, who had just finished surgery. Hyewon had already decided to officially join the study group. Jae-woo also apologized and asked to join. At that point, the study group was only one member away from being officially formed. Everyone was preparing to look for the final candidate. Then a brick suddenly smashed through the window and flew into the classroom. The person who came was Yu-chan, the top-ranked bully among the first-year students. Yu-chan did not believe the rumors about Gammon. So he came to challenge him himself. Gammon did not even look at him. To force Gammon to respond, Yu-chan ordered his lackeys to bring in June. In front of everyone, Yu-chan began reading the study group application form June had filled out. When Gammon heard that someone had applied to join the study group, he immediately demanded to see the form. But before Yu-chan finished reading it, he tore the application form apart on the spot. Gammon could tolerate people provoking him, but he could not tolerate someone destroying studying and the study group. He immediately stepped in to stop Yu-chan. After the conflict ended, Gammon learned why June wanted to join the study group. June had always wanted to become stronger. He had tried all kinds of strange training methods, from running in short sleeves during winter to training his lungs with plastic bottles. But none of it worked. Later, he heard that Luching Vocational High School ranked students by fighting ability. So he came here and fought his way from 180th place to 17th. But after that, June could not climb any higher. Only after seeing Gammon defeat Hyunwoo with one move did June decide to join the study group and learn fighting from him. Gammon refused on the spot. The study group was not a place to teach people how to fight. June had no choice but to change his words. He said he was willing to study seriously first. Gammon placed textbooks and test papers in front of him. If June finished the test before everyone came back from visiting Ms. Lee, he could join the study group. June could only sit down and answer the questions. Just as he was about to finish the last question, a man with a bun walked into the classroom. His name was Django. He was YB Gang's recruitment manager. Django saw Gammon's name written on the textbook and mistook June for Gammon. He told June to follow him for a test. June did not know what the test was, but he still used Gammon's name and followed him. Django took June into a car. Gunwoo happened to see it. After dark, June was taken to an abandoned warehouse. Only after standing in the middle of the warehouse did June learn Django's identity. This man with a bun was YB Gang's recruitment manager. This was how YB Gang selected new members. Only top-ranked students from different schools were brought here. The rule looked simple. Take the key from the hood of the car, and you passed. But several official members were standing in front of it. They did not explain anything. And they were not going to hold back. June's test began just like that. At the same time, Gammon and the others returned to school. After finding that June was missing, Seon thought June had given up on joining the study group. But Gammon saw the unfinished test paper on the desk. He believed June would not quit halfway. Then Gunwoo pushed the door open and walked in. He told Gammon that he had seen June being taken away by strangers. Gunwoo then took Gammon and Jae-woo to the warehouse. By then, June had already been knocked to the ground inside. Django had long heard that Gammon was incredibly strong, but June's performance disappointed him badly. Django judged that June had failed the selection. So he prepared to keep teaching him a lesson. Gammon walked into the warehouse with Gunwoo and Jae-woo. In his hand, he was still holding June's unfinished test paper. The test paper was not complete. But June had already scored 24 points. That was enough. Based on the standard Gammon had set, June was qualified to join the study group. Django found this ridiculous. He mocked them for breaking into the warehouse for one teammate. Gammon did not argue. He only told June to come back to his side. Django stepped on June's back. Then Django added a new test on the spot. If Gammon could save June from under his foot, June would pass. Gunwoo and Jae-woo rushed first toward the enemies on the left and right. Gammon rolled June's test paper into a paper stick and faced a knife-wielding man. He used the rolled test paper to suppress the man with the knife. But Gunwoo and Jaiwoo soon fell into hard fights. They were still students after all. Their strength was clearly below these gang members. At the critical moment, Gammon stepped in and helped both of them out. Then Gammon threw a punch toward Django's face. But Django blocked it with one hand. For the first time, someone had blocked Gammon's fist head-on. Django also confirmed that the person in front of him was the real Gammon. Gunwoo, Jaiwoo, and Gammon teamed up to attack Django. But after a few rounds, only Gammon was still standing. Gammon realized Django's strength was far beyond the others. Ordinary moves would not knock him down. So Gammon decided to use the move Yanga had strictly forbidden him from using. Before Django could react, Gammon knocked him unconscious with one strike. But just as Gammon was about to put his glasses back on, a car suddenly started. It drove straight toward him. June shoved Gammon away. At the same time, Gammon grabbed June. The two narrowly avoided the sudden attack. Then a young boy wearing a hat stepped out from the driver's seat. The boy directly invited Gammon to join them. He said that with Gammon's strength, Gammon could easily manage YB Gang's enforcers. Gammon refused. He and his teammates still planned to go to college. The boy mocked that idea. But the boy also became interested in Gammon's attitude. Then the boy mentioned the school Gunwoo had once attended. He used that past to provoke Gunwoo. Gunwoo immediately got on his motorcycle and chased after the hat-wearing boy. Seon and Heewon arrived at the scene with the police. The thugs were quickly taken away. The injured June was also sent to the hospital. After Gammon defeated Django, he received a 4-star rating in YB Gang's strength evaluation. It had been a long time since any student from the school had received that rating. Because of this, Gammon also drew Hanul's attention. At this point, the study group finally gathered 5 members. Ms. Lee officially announced that the study group had been formed. She also set a club exchange as their first group activity. She planned to take the members to another school for a study exchange with the study group there. Early the next morning, the other 4 members gathered on time. But Gammon still had not shown up. After checking the group messages, June discovered that the school name Jaiwoo had sent was very similar to Mani High School. He immediately suspected that Gammon had gone to the wrong place. And that was exactly what happened. Gammon was supposed to attend a study exchange. Instead, he stepped into one of the most chaotic schools in the city. As soon as he entered the school gate, 2 bullies blocked his way. Seeing the Luching Vocational High School uniform, they treated him as someone there to steal territory. A fat student picked up a fire extinguisher from behind and smashed it hard at Gammon. Gammon raised his hand and blocked it. The fire extinguisher was dented directly. Outside the hallway, a fight had already broken out. But the 2 people in the classroom still had not noticed. When one of them heard the noise and rushed out, 3 of his companions were already on the ground. All unconscious. At that moment, a student who had long been bullied was in the classroom calling his mother for money. Gammon happened to push the door open and walk in. After seeing Gammon, the student immediately told his mother that he seemed to be saved. He was Gammon's friend from middle school. In middle school, he had once looked down on Gammon. Now the person who saved him was Gammon. The leader of Mani High School walked into the classroom. He did not say much. He attacked Gammon directly. A conflict broke out between them. After ending the conflict, Gammon left Mani High School and returned to Luching Vocational High School. The next day, the 5 study group members went to the dedicated classroom Ms. Lee had applied for. The classroom was old and worn down. But after the 5 of them cleaned it together, it quickly became tidy. Then Ms. Lee found the Dean of Student Affairs. She officially applied to hold a school disciplinary committee against Hanul. She hoped to use the disciplinary process to stop Hanul from continuing to run wild at school. The Dean of Student Affairs expressed support. But he gave one condition. All 5 study group members had to improve by more than 10 ranks on the midterm exam. After school, Seon and Heewon ran into several bullies on their way home. Seon was punched first. Heewon was also slapped hard. Seon tried to fight back but was beaten even more violently. A male bully prepared to forcefully take Heewon away. Gammon arrived in time. But he did not attack immediately. Instead, he proposed a 10-round forehead-flicking match. Each round would be decided through rock, paper, scissors. Anyone who did not throw a move would lose automatically. Gammon quickly won 2 rounds in a row. Each time, he flicked the other person hard on the forehead. Mina and several girls beside her saw the situation turning against them. They immediately took out their phones. They prepared to record Gammon attacking as evidence. After noticing the cameras, Gammon claimed that he was afraid of cameras. After being bullied repeatedly, Sian refused Gamon's comfort and went home alone. As soon as Sian entered, his father cursed at him for not going to the construction site to carry bricks. Sian said he would earn money after graduating high school. He would also repay the debt his mother had left behind. But his father did not ask about the injuries on his face. Instead, he kept cursing at him and even used his mother to insult him. Sian asked whether his father cared more about losing face in front of his co-workers than the injuries on his son's face. He also reminded his father of one thing. His mother had not only been Sian's mother, she had also been his father's wife. That line completely enraged his father. His father directly told Sian to leave the house. Sian turned around and rushed out the door. As soon as he walked outside, he saw Gamon, who had come looking for him. Gamon said he and Sian were somewhat similar. Then he invited Sian to spend the night at his house. Sian refused. He urged Gamon to get home before his 10 o'clock curfew. Gamon offered to pay his bus fare. Sian said Gamon did not understand why he would worry over 10,000 won. Gamon said they were friends. And friends were supposed to help each other. Sian thanked him for his kindness. But he did not want to be helped by Gamon forever. Whether at school or at home, Sian felt he had never truly won once. In the end, he told Gamon to hurry home and left alone. With only 3,001 left on him, Sian wandered aimlessly through the streets. Unexpectedly, he ran into the bully who had clashed with him during the day. Sian desperately tried to avoid him but was still caught. When the bully was about to attack, Gamon called. After the call connected, Sian suddenly dodged the other person's attacks again and again. Gamon had not gone straight home. He had gone to the rooftop across the street. Through the phone, Gamon guided Sian remotely on how to dodge and counterattack. Gamon first told Sian to clench his right fist. Then he told Sian to imagine a wall on his left and punch in that direction. Sian did not understand right away. But he still followed the instruction. Gamon kept reminding him to watch the left side. Then Gamon told him to crouch to the right and dodge. Under Gamon's guidance, Sian dodged the opponent's attacks again and again. He gradually found chances to counterattack. Just as Sian was about to win, Gamon's phone suddenly ran out of battery and shut off. After seeing Sian fall into danger again, Gamon immediately rushed downstairs to help. But when Gamon arrived, Sian had already defeated the opponent with his own strength. Sian won that fight. But Gamon paid the price. He had broken his 10 o'clock curfew. Gamon's mother, Sunja, did not negotiate. She immediately decided to transfer him to another school. Sian thought she was only saying it out of anger. But Gamon knew clearly that once his mother said something, she would not take it back easily. Early the next morning, Sunja took him straight to the principal's office to handle the transfer. Sian and the other three could only watch from outside the window. The study group that had barely been formed was about to lose its most important member. But the curriculum system at a vocational high school was different from a regular high school. So Gamon's credits were hard to transfer. As soon as the transfer process got stuck, Sunja immediately changed her method. She would buy a house in Seoul. Then Gamon could go to school in Seoul directly. After hearing this, the group immediately notified Ms. Lee. Before Ms. Lee arrived, they could only try to stop Sunja from signing the contract first. The 4 students tried everything. Sian said he was second in the school and could tutor Gamon. June said he was Gamon's rival and had learned a lot from him. Jaiwo panicked so badly that she even claimed she was pregnant with Gamon's child. But by the time Ms. Lee arrived, Sunja had already left with Gamon. So Ms. Lee found a car and chased after them with the 4 students. Just as they were about to catch up, a motorcycle suddenly rushed out and blocked the road. The person blocking them was Yuchan, the top-ranked first-year bully who had been defeated by Gamon before. Yuchan wanted Gamon to transfer as soon as possible. So he brought people to stop them. To avoid wasting time, June decided to stay behind alone and stop Yuchan's group. He told Ms. Lee to keep chasing with the others. June dared to face them alone because he had secretly learned the Tongshen Big Brother Little Dragon Kick from Gamon. He thought that with this move, he could defeat all the opponents. But just as June prepared to use it, the other side struck first and knocked him down. Meanwhile, Ms. Lee and the others finally arrived before the contract was signed. Ms. Lee had once worked as Gamon's tutor. She had known Sunja for a long time. Even so, Sunja still did not change her mind. She wanted Gamon to stay completely away from violence. Gamon reminded his mother of something she had once taught him. When facing injustice, he should not run away. He should work hard to change the situation. The reason Ms. Lee had come to Luching Vocational High School was also connected to Sunja. Years ago, Ms. Lee's mentor, Ms. Min, had investigated Hanul and died because of it. Ms. Lee had missed an important teacher recruitment exam to attend the funeral. Sunja had also been at the funeral. She told Ms. Lee not to give up. She encouraged Ms. Lee to take Ms. Min's place and become a teacher who could protect students. Those words later led Ms. Lee to choose Luching Vocational High School. So Ms. Lee understood why Sunja wanted Gammon to transfer. But she also hoped Sunja would give these students one more chance. Gammon and his teammates had already formed a study group. As long as these students were willing to change, Luching Vocational High School still had a chance to improve. Ms. Lee would do everything she could for that. Sunja was finally shaken. But just as she was about to give in, a group of thugs suddenly barged in. The leader was Hanul's trusted man, Minwon. Minwon had learned that Ms. Lee had applied to open a school disciplinary committee to investigate Hanul. So he brought people to find her. Ms. Lee told them to wait outside and not disturb her conversation with a student's parent. But Minwon mocked her. He claimed this area had already been taken over by YB gang. Gammon took off his glasses and prepared to fight. But his mother rushed at those thugs first. Only then did everyone learn that Sunja was also a director of the Taekwondo Association. She warned the thugs not to go home and complain to their parents after getting beaten. Then she told Heewon to hide behind her. Just then, a steel ball fired from a modified gun fell to the ground. Only then did everyone discover that Minwon had hidden a modified gun that could fire steel balls. Minwon raised the gun again and prepared to pull the trigger. Seeing Minwon raise the gun, Sunja immediately stood in front of Ms. Lee. The steel ball missed Sunja. But the flying glass shards struck Sunja hard in the head. She fainted on the spot and was rushed to the hospital. After the news reached Gammon, he did not wait for any more explanation. He returned to Luching Vocational High School and rushed straight to the rooftop to find Hanul. This time, he was not even wearing the glasses he normally never took off. After seeing Hanul, Gammon wasted no words. He attacked directly. Hanul mentioned Sunja's injury and demanded that Gammon stop immediately. Then the school broadcast suddenly sounded. All teachers and students were ordered to gather in the gym right away. Hanul left the rooftop first. He left behind the three of Yanseo, the three strongest fighters around him. Kyujin, one of the three of Yanseo, originally prepared to deal with Gammon alone. But Gammon directly told all three of them to come at him together. The three mocked him for overestimating himself. They also warned him not to keep provoking Hanul. Then they turned around and prepared to leave. But Yanga had once said something. Once Gammon's heartbeat started speeding up, very few people could beat him. Yanga had used a glass of water to compare three different levels of fighters. A third-rate person would make the water spill. A second-rate person could keep the surface calm. A first-rate person would empty the water from the glass. Gammon soon calmed down. He saw through the three people's attack patterns. After catching their openings, he knocked them down one after another. When Gammon was about to leave, one of the three of Yanseo refused to accept defeat and rushed at him again. Gammon leaped into the air. He used the move Yanga had strictly forbidden him from using freely. The sixth form. Tongshen Big Brother Little Dragon Kick. After defeating the three of Yanseo, Gammon immediately rushed toward the gym. Meanwhile, Principal Min was giving a speech in front of all the teachers and students. To stop the disciplinary committee from being held, he claimed that someone was maliciously smearing the school. He pointed the accusation directly at Ms. Lee. He demanded that she apologize publicly. He also accused her of damaging the school's reputation. Amid the students' jeering, Ms. Lee was forced to walk onto the stage. But she did not apologize. Instead, she publicly stated the fact that Ms. Min had died at the hands of a student. She also made a promise to all the students. Starting today, she would protect every student who suffered from bullying. While the students were still jeering, Gammon suddenly rushed into the gym. He did not stop. He did not let Hanul speak. In front of every teacher and student, Gammon punched Hanul in the face. Hanul fought back immediately. But that one punch was already enough. The whole school had seen it. Hanul had always stood at the top. At that moment, everyone knew he could be hit. That public provocation made Hanul extremely dissatisfied. After that, he chose Junmin as his next target. He wanted to see whether Ms. Lee could really protect him. Junmin was one of the three of Yanseo. His grandfather was hospitalized because of illness. His grandfather's greatest wish was for Junmin to study seriously and get into college in the future. Junmin himself had also always wanted to study. But to pay the medical bills, he had to work for Hanul. He could never escape Hanul's control. Junmin later ran into Gammon at the hospital by accident. After learning that Sunja had been injured by Hanul's people, Junmin apologized to Gammon for offending him before. Gammon also remembered something from their earlier fight. When he had knocked Junmin down, a study notebook had fallen from Junmin's pocket. While they were talking, Seokjin, one of YB Gang's strongest fighters, and Taeho suddenly came looking for Junmin. They were the ones who trained YB Gang's enforcers. They demanded that Junmin leave with them immediately. Gammon wanted to go with them. To avoid dragging Gammon into it, Junmin deliberately put on a fierce expression and drove Gammon away. Gammon could only watch as Junmin was taken away. The next day, Gammon and the others learned from the news that a murder had happened the previous night. The suspect was Junmin. Because Gammon had contact with Junmin the night before the incident, Detective Na specifically came to question him. Gammon knew Junmin had last been taken away by people from YB Gang. But he did not tell the police right away. Gammon worried that telling the truth recklessly would not save Junmin. It might even make Junmin suffer Hanul's retaliation. Seon and Heewon then began investigating Junmin and Hanul. They found an abnormal piece of data. Since Hanul had entered the school, the local juvenile crime rate had risen quickly. But the adult crime rate had gone down instead. In other words, more and more students had been pushed to the front of crime scenes. The real beneficiaries were hiding behind them. This was how Hanul expanded YB Gang. Students worked for the organization. After they got out of prison, they were controlled again through so-called job opportunities. And Gammon remembered one thing. A study notebook had once fallen from Junmin. So he did not believe someone who still wanted to study was the real killer. Then Kyujin came to Gammon with a clue. The two argued at first. But Kyujin soon revealed what he had seen. He had personally seen a YB Gang executive washing a bloodstained knife in the bathroom. That knife was likely the key evidence that could prove Junmin's innocence. To save Junmin, they had to find it as soon as possible. After discussion, the 5 study group members decided to act that night. Gammon, Jaiwoo, and Jun borrowed uniforms from new members who had just passed YB Gang's test. The 3 disguised themselves as YB Gang trainees and prepared to sneak into YB Gang headquarters. Seon and Heewon stayed behind to provide intelligence support. When entering the building, the 3 reported the names of those new members. After the guard checked the list, he raised his hand and let them pass. Just as they thought they had passed, someone behind them suddenly called out to Gammon. The man stared at Gammon's glasses and backpack and mocked him. Who came to gang training while carrying a backpack? The air instantly tightened. Luckily, the man did not keep questioning them. He only urged the 3 to hurry inside. Only then did they successfully sneak into YB Gang headquarters. Heewon controlled a drone to monitor the entire building from outside. She sent Hanul's location in real time. According to the plan, Gammon and the other 2 had to hide on the 4th floor first. After Hanul left, they would sneak into the office and search for evidence. But the plan went wrong as soon as it started. The elevator suddenly broke down. Hanul's group switched to the stairs. To avoid the search, Gammon was forced to hide on the edge of the rooftop. Seokjin did not find him and soon turned to leave. But when Gammon tried to return, the rooftop iron door had already been locked. Hanul called Junmin in front of everyone. Then he directly handed him a large amount of money. He announced that Junmin had officially joined YB Gang starting today. He also said the money was for buying clothes and could help with his grandfather's medical bills. The people around them exclaimed when they saw the money. Hanul told them not just to be jealous. He told them to congratulate Junmin. Seon and Heewon discovered Gammon's situation through the drone. Jaiwoo and Jun had no choice but to act early. But just as they were about to leave, a trainee discovered them. Jun decided to stay behind and hold that person off. He let Jaiwoo go to the office alone to search for the weapon. Meanwhile, Seon discovered that Detective Na had already arrived downstairs. He immediately reminded Gammon that he had to escape the rooftop as soon as possible. Once Junmin was taken away by the police, it would be very difficult to stop him from taking the blame for Hanul. On the other side, Jaiwoo finally found the weapon inside a drawer in the office. But before she could leave, footsteps came from outside the door. Jaiwoo quickly hid under the desk. But Seokjin still found her. After recognizing Jaiwoo, Seokjin began insulting her in a frivolous tone. Jaiwoo used the chance to rush out of the office. But Taeho blocked her path. The glass door at the exit was sealed by a password lock. She had no way out. But Jaiwoo did not stand there and wait to be caught. She seized the chance and took Taeho down with a shoulder throw. But the next second, Seokjin still grabbed her from behind. Jaiwoo struggled and called him a pervert. Seokjin kept insulting her and deliberately used words to provoke her. Jaiwo fought back again. But Seokjin knocked her unconscious. Trapped on the rooftop, Gammon learned from Seon that Jaiwoo and June had lost contact. Then he saw Jaiwoo being taken away. To get out and save her as fast as possible, Gammon raised his foot and kicked the iron door hard. At the same time, Minwon, the gunman from Hanul's side, shot down the scouting drone. Because of that, Seon and Heewon lost their view inside the building. Seokjin, one of YB Gang's strongest fighters, took Jaiwoo and the weapon into a car and prepared to leave. Just then, Junmin suddenly stopped them. A few minutes earlier, Detective Na had been about to take Junmin away. Before they left, Detective Na deliberately asked whether the victim had been stabbed 3 times. Junmin did not think much. He immediately answered that he had indeed stabbed the victim 3 times. Detective Na then pointed out that the victim actually had only 1 stab wound. Only then did Junmin realize that he did not even know the real details of the crime. Detective Na told him to think carefully. Then he asked one last time whether Junmin had really killed someone. Junmin remembered that his grandfather wanted to see him become an outstanding person with his own eyes. In the end, Junmin admitted that he was taking the blame for someone else. After learning that Junmin was not the real killer, Detective Na did not take him away immediately. Junmin then rushed to the parking lot. He tried to stop Seokjin, who was about to take Jaiwoo and the weapon away. Junmin was one of the strongest fighters around Hanul. But even with 2 companions helping him, he was still no match for Seokjin. After Jaiwoo woke up, she did not run away. Instead, she joined the fight. But even Jaiwoo could not turn the situation around. On the other side, Jun leaped high into the air. He defeated his opponent with a 360-degree spinning kick. Just as Junmin and Jaiwoo were knocked back by Seokjin one after another, Gammon finally arrived. He stood in front of everyone, holding nunchucks. The rooftop iron door had already been kicked full of dents by Gammon. Gammon held the nunchucks and faced Seokjin. He told him that this thing was only for testing strength. But Seokjin's strength was not as terrifying as the rumors said. The next second, Gammon put away the nunchucks. The real danger was the punch that came next. Ordinary punches needed about 10 inches of power distance. A higher level only needed 1 inch. And what Gammon was about to use needed an even shorter distance. So close that the opponent would almost have no time to react. As soon as he finished speaking, Gammon punched Seokjin. Seokjin fell on the spot. Jaiwoo noticed that Seokjin had not completely lost consciousness. She immediately rushed up and kicked him again. She called Seokjin a lunatic. She also said that although she wanted to kill him, she would not actually do it. After the fight ended, Seon and Heewon finally arrived carrying stools. Seeing the two only show up after the fight was over, everyone could not hold back their laughter. Not long after, the school held its midterm exams. After all their effort, all 5 study group members improved by more than 10 ranks. Gammon's grades improved from last place in the whole school to 11th from the bottom. According to the agreement, the Dean of Student Affairs agreed to hold the disciplinary committee against Hanul. The announcement was soon posted on the school bulletin board. That day, Junmin directly stopped Hanul's car. He demanded that Hanul get out and walk into school. Junmin also warned him to at least stay alive until the day of the disciplinary review. As the disciplinary committee got closer, Gunwoo became more and more worried about Ms. Lee's safety. He was afraid Ms. Lee would repeat Ms. Min's fate. So he repeatedly advised her not to keep investigating. Only then did everyone learn that Gunwoo was Ms. Min's son. Years ago, Gunwoo had witnessed his mother being killed. However, Ms. Lee still firmly believed that only by holding the disciplinary committee could they change the current state of Luching Vocational High School. Hanul soon fought back. He released the video of Gammon and the others breaking into YB gang headquarters. He described them as gang members. He also accused them of sneaking into the building to steal. As soon as the video spread, the 5 study group members became targets of public attack. Principal Min used the chance to pressure them. Gammon would be sent to the disciplinary committee. The other members might also be forced to withdraw from school, unless Ms. Lee withdrew her application against Hanul. But even if she compromised, Principal Min had no intention of letting them go. He announced on the spot that the study group was disbanded. He also demanded that Ms. Lee prepare a resignation letter. Because the school had already set a rule. Once the study group was disbanded, the teacher in charge would also be dismissed. Just as the 5 were pushed to a dead end, Hanul released a new announcement. Anyone who raised their fighting ranking within 1 hour could receive a 1 million won prize. Once money appeared, the campus immediately fell into chaos. Students who had only been watching from the side began looking for weaker people to attack. The hallways, classrooms, and schoolyard all became places to raise rankings. Hanul wanted to prove one thing. As long as he offered money, Luching Vocational High School would return to its original state. He could give students prizes and protection. What Gammon had was only a study group that had just been disbanded. Then Hanul used Gammon and the others' smooth graduation as a condition. He demanded that Ms. Lee withdraw the disciplinary committee application. After saying that, Hanul left with his people. Soon after, a group of students barged into the study group room. They used the excuse that the study group had already been disbanded. Then they smashed everything. The room was quickly destroyed. The 5 members could not stop them. They could only watch it happen. Afterward, Gammon and Ms. Lee returned there and quietly cleaned up the mess on the floor. The next day, the 5 members gathered again. Junmin also joined their side of resistance. At that point, only one day remained before the disciplinary committee. Their most important task was to ensure Ms. Lee's safety. On the night before the disciplinary committee, Principal Min suddenly contacted Ms. Lee. He said he was willing to meet at the school. He also said he would reveal the secret between himself and Hanul. But this man had always protected Hanul. Of course, Ms. Lee would not easily trust him. This meeting was very likely a trap. But if he was truly willing to speak, it could also be the only chance to get evidence. Before leaving, Ms. Lee first went to see Detective Na. The recording device was prepared. The rescue plan was also arranged in advance. She did not walk into the school unprepared. But danger was still waiting for her. After they met, Principal Min finally revealed the secret the school had buried for years. Luching Vocational High School had been used by YB Group, the organization behind YB Gang, as a money laundering channel. Hanul's family was behind it. For years, Principal Min had been under Hanul's family's control. That was why he kept covering up the school's problems. Because of this, Hanul had escaped investigation and punishment again and again. Principal Min admitted that the school's long-term tolerance had allowed Hanul and the others' actions to escalate. Then he asked whether the materials for the disciplinary committee were ready. Ms. Lee said they had already obtained statements from victimized students. They were also continuing to collect testimony from teachers. Principal Min praised Ms. Lee for preparing everything thoroughly. Ms. Lee then ended the visible recording. Just then, all the lights in the school suddenly went out. Principal Min did not stay to help her. He immediately fled the school. Ms. Lee realized something was wrong and prepared to leave as quickly as possible. But soon after she walked out, Hanul's 2 men, Sanjin and Jaewon, blocked her. She took another route. Then she ran straight into Minwon. Hanul and these 3 attackers blocked Ms. Lee from the front and back. Minwon ordered her to hand over her phone. When she refused to cooperate, Minwon began insulting and threatening her. Then he confiscated Ms. Lee's phone and cut off her contact with the outside world. But Ms. Lee had prepared in advance. Although Minwon took her phone, the miniature recording device Detective Na had hidden behind her button was still working. Facing Hanul, Ms. Lee deliberately led him to talk about Ms. Min's death. She wanted Hanul to admit that he was connected to the case. This secret recording would become key evidence against him. Detective Na had made an agreement with Ms. Lee. If he still had not received contact after 30 minutes, he would enter the school immediately. After 30 minutes passed, Detective Na prepared to enter the campus to support her. But just as he approached the school, a person Hanul had arranged in advance knocked him unconscious with a stun baton. But Gammon and the others were still inside the campus. Gammon used the school broadcast to declare war on Hanul and the others. Minwon rushed forward to attack. Gammon directly grabbed Minwon and threw him aside. Right after that, Gammon swung back and punched Sanjin in the face. The others used the opening to protect Ms. Lee and moved toward the school gate. Hanul stayed behind alone to face Gammon. Junmin and Jaewo stopped on their own and blocked Jaewon and Sanjin. Seon was responsible for holding back Minwon. Jun continued retreating toward the school gate with Ms. Lee. But when the 2 ran to the first floor, a male student suddenly blocked them. Jun quickly recognized him. He was the childhood friend who had once betrayed Jun. To let Ms. Lee keep leaving, Jun stayed behind alone to stop him. Their side was split apart. Gammon, Junmin, Jaewo, Seon, and Jun each had to face their own opponent. Hanul could have chased Ms. Lee right away. Instead, he stayed behind to fight Gammon. Jun was kicked out of the campus by his childhood friend. Junmin was punched into a classroom by Jaewon. Jaewo was thrown into the same room by Sanjin. Seon was pinned down by Minwon's modified gun. Within minutes, everyone on Gammon's side except Gammon was at a disadvantage. But none of them went down. Jaiwo rushed out again and created an opening for Junmin to counterattack. The steel balls in Minwon's gun finally ran out, so he could only fight Cien head-on. Jun endured his injury and became the first to defeat the childhood friend who had betrayed him. Junmin seized the chance and twisted one of Jaewon's arms until it broke. After Jaiwo heard Junmin remind her to focus on the basics, she found her rhythm again. She hugged Sanjin from behind and slammed him hard to the ground. Sanjin lost consciousness on the spot. Cien remembered a few basic fighting rules Sunja had once mentioned. The first was to learn how to take hits. The second was to remember the opponent's vital points. The third was to attack those vital points with the knuckles of his fingers. Cien struck Minwon in the throat with the knuckle of his middle finger. The other fights ended one after another. The only ones still fighting were Gammon and Hanul. Hanul kicked Gammon into a classroom. Gammon crashed into the wall, smashing a hole into it. But Hanul soon noticed something was wrong. Every time Gammon counterattacked, he was not in a hurry to end the fight. He had been keeping Hanul here the whole time. Hanul immediately understood. Gammon was buying time for Ms. Lee to escape. But Hanul had already prepared another move. He told Gammon that he had already sent people to stop Ms. Lee. On the other side, Ms. Lee was indeed surrounded by YB gang members. Gammon stopped holding back. He used that close-range heavy punch again. But this time, Hanul actually endured it head-on. Hanul did not fall. Instead, he immediately counterattacked. He kicked Gammon's leg badly and left him almost unable to stand. Hanul continued closing in. What he wanted to break was not only Gammon. It was also the study group Gammon had been trying to protect. But Gammon did not fall. He endured the injury in his leg and kept resisting. When Hanul charged at him again, Gammon seized the chance to counterattack. After the final exchange, Hanul finally fell. Gammon confirmed that Hanul could no longer fight. Then Gammon struggled to go find Ms. Lee. But after walking only a short distance, Gammon passed out. Fortunately, Ms. Lee was not injured. At the critical moment, Hee-won arrived with reinforcements. During the day, she had taken the initiative to find Da-hun. To repay the debt he owed Ms. Lee for taking the attack for him, Da-hun chose to help in the end. The bullies who had once been defeated by Gammon also arrived one after another to support them. They blocked YB gangspeople and allowed Ms. Lee to escape safely. The next day, the disciplinary committee was held. In the end, Hanul was expelled. The committee stated that Hanul had failed the teachers and classmates who had once cared about him. He had to take responsibility for his choices. Hanul listened without saying a word. Then Detective Na played the key recording Ms. Lee had recorded the night before. The recording proved that Hanul was connected to Ms. Min's death. After the evidence was made public, Hanul would also face a police investigation and possible imprisonment. As Hanul was taken away, he passed by Gammon. He told Gammon to try changing this school. After that, Principal Min prepared to leave the school. Before leaving, he said he wanted to smoke a cigarette. Gammon reminded him that smoking was banned on campus. Not long after, the news clarified the rumors that Gammon and the others were suspected of theft. Students began uninstalling the fighting ranking app one after another. The rankings that had once hung over everyone's heads finally started losing their power. Campus order slowly returned. The study group was formed again. Gammon, Cien, Hee-won, Jaiwoo, and Jun sat back at their desks. They still had their own goals to complete. And Luqing Vocational High School also began to change. It started with this small study group.